All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And this is Shot 30 Podcast, and I am Shane Newber, and thank you guys for being here. Thank you for watching, and thank you for listening. Hey, today we have a special guest, a TikTok superstar. AngieePangieeBobangiee is on the Zoom today. Angie, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Shot 30 Podcast is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, CastBox, YouTube, and please go like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. They may like it or they may hate it. It just depends. But Angie, I first of all want to say, you have such a unique page on TikTok, and I am a huge fan. Like, honestly, before I asked you to be on the podcast, I was a fan of yours months and months ago, and you have such a unique page and such a unique style of what you do, and I want to know more about it.
Well, this I've always been like this in my head. I've always been like this, but through the pandemic, I needed some kind of outlet to get like out of my own space and dealing with my kids and my mom and everything that goes on, and you're stuck in the house. So I just use TikTok as like an escape.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole hot neighbor thing just kind of was funny to me, and I didn't expect it to blow up the way that it did. So now it just keeps going.
And I think like the main question that everybody wants to ask and know, who is the hot neighbor? Who's recording these videos?
So I can't tell you who's recording the video.
I like that.
There is a real hot neighbor. He is not the one opening the door, though, and I don't even know if he knows that I'm on TikTok, so this could end quite embarrassing for me. But he does exist. I couldn't tell you his name, but I can tell you what he looks like.
He's hot. It sounds like he's hot.
He is hot. He is hot, and he has 2 dogs that he walks by, and he never says anything more than, "Hey, how you doing? How's the weather?" And I'm like, "Oh, sleep with me." Like, yeah. I don't know.
And you, okay, so I think maybe not the first, but you hit like a couple million views on it. Was like you had like a love shirt on. It was like a black shirt. It said love on it. And
I have no idea.
It was at a couple million views. And I just was like, man, I had just gotten on TikTok. I have not been like actively on TikTok, and I kind of want to use TikTok to give us a route to help build the podcast and do other things. And right now the TikTok is going nuts. I mean, the phone.
It's amazing.
I told my wife the other day. I was like, "What is going on?" And she's like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Did you leave your vibrator on?" Like, and it was my phone. It was getting like, I looked at my phone. It had 300,000 notifications, and
wow,
it was just going nuts. And that's how fast it happens on TikTok. It's
it
crazy.
Really does. It's like an overnight thing. I couldn't get past like 100 followers.
Mm-hmm.
And my sister, she put up like that we wash our groceries during coronavirus, and so she went pretty viral with that. Like, maybe like 60,000. And I was like, man, you're so rude. Like, how did you do that for washing groceries? Like, I wash my groceries. When mine actually hit, so it went from like 100 to 1,000 to 3,000 to 10,000 to 50, all within 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, it jumped so quick, and I wasn't expecting it. I really wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, that's actually what ours it went from 2000, and I spend a lot of time making skits and videos and all these things. I spend a lot of I've for a long time I've done this, and we went from 2,000 followers to 50. I think we're at 50,000 right now in the past 8 days. Yeah,
it's so fast. It's amazing. But the only thing is that I did notice, so I'm at 75,000 right now. Between 60,000, 75,000, it has been probably like 2 months. And it's because of the creator fund on TikTok. It really does like stifle how far they put your stuff out. It really does. And I hear it from a lot of creators.
Oh, that's wild. Yeah, I know we can't talk about like that in detail because there's a lot of rules when it comes to that.
There really is.
Okay, so another thing about you too that I think is incredible is I used to be a power lifter and I competed all over the United States, and I see that you have put in the work. You're down 90 some pounds, maybe more. You
Yeah.
look incredible.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so close to 100, although I really like cake and chips. So
What?
my progress is like stepping back some, but I'm gonna get there. It is a goal, so I'm
Well,
still working on it.
I think that's probably a great time for us to say Shot 30 Podcast is sponsored by Mrs. Newbie's Cakes and Cookies. Visit Mrs. Newbie's Cakes and Cookies on Facebook and Instagram. Put in your orders for St. Patty's Day, Easter, everything going forward. I mean, she is killing it out there. That is Mrs. Newbie's Cakes and Cookies. The link in the bio. And go check out her stuff and put in your orders. You have to put them in early because she books up very, very quick. But yeah, I like cake too a lot. I'm a big cake fan. So what, like, how did you? I mean, it's a incredible before and after what you've done.
Yeah, so I did low carb and keto. I actually wrote a cookbook with my kids, so we just published that about a month ago on Amazon. It's Angie's Low Carb Keto Cookbook. So we basically just ate what's in that book, and it's been pretty good. They say also like the keto is good for kids with autism. My son's autistic, so it works for him as well, even though he's little. So it's just a great program, but you have to be safe and you have to know what you're doing. You have to do a lot of research if that's what you choose to do.
Okay, so when I want to dive into that a little bit more. The very first thing that I do want to ask you is, with the TikTok page and your TikTok page being very successful, what was it just the hot neighbor that made you want to stick? Because like a lot of people, like, they find a niche on TikTok and then they roll with it. Like they keep, and you've kind of done the same thing.
Yeah, it kind of happens like, so I was doing like stupid stuff on TikTok originally, like, taking people's sounds and mimicking them or whatever. It's with the hot neighbor that, because it's original, I think it goes further because they want original content. So I keep going with it because it's still being received really well. But I'm going to branch it out to my Tinder experiences, the online dating. So the whole thing, like my whole niche right now is like the thirsty middle-aged woman. Like this is pretty much what it's about.
Okay, so I did want to get into that as well. Well, first of all, I hope this story ends with you and the hot neighbor. Like, really, like, wouldn't this story be incredible?
It would be amazing.
Yeah, if this story ends with you and the hot neighbor, like, I mean, on OnlyFans, just banging it out, I'm in.
Right? Is that the best? Is that the best? I accidentally signed up for OnlyFans.
How do you accidentally sign up?
I swear it was through TikTok. I saw girls posting their feet shavings and stuff, and they're like, I just paid my phone bill. And then there was like this one girl, and she's like, I made 30. I was like, what is this? I haven't had a pedicure in a year. I can make bank. You know what I mean? Like, how's she selling her feet dirt? So I went on, but they don't show you anything. So I figured it told me to sign up. So I'm like, well, maybe if I sign up, I'll be able to like browse. Well, they still don't show you anything. So I accidentally have a page. My first photo was of my dip for my chips because it told me to add a photo, and that's I was eating chips.
Oh my god!
That was my first photo.
That's an incredible first photo.
Yeah, it's amazing.
We actually had a guest on the podcast. She was in the studio, and it was awesome. She started in OnlyFans. She had the sleeve put in, and she's lost over 120 some pounds or something like that.
Wow, that's
and
amazing.
She's owning it. She's loving life, and she's just out there getting it. And she started her OnlyFans page, and after we did the episode, we just watched that page go insane. And she goes hardcore XXX on her OnlyFans page. So
see, I couldn't do that. I don't know if I could do that. I mean, I'm old now, and things aren't where they're supposed to be anymore. So I don't know who's going to want to pay to see that. But I could tell you a couple jokes, you know?
And especially if the neighbor's involved. I mean, you can
Yes.
hold anything in place that you have to.
He's either going to have to get on board or he's going to have to move, like one or the other. I don't know how it's going to end, but it's going to be one or the other.
Yeah, you could buy him out, like, hey, I own you for the next few years. This is what
Yeah.
we're doing, and then leave.
I'm not above it. I am not above it. I'll pay him. I don't care.
Oh man, I wish I knew this hot neighbor. I would, and I could have him on the podcast, and then drop out like, "Hey, you got any
Could you imagine?
neighbors you're interested in?"
Oh my God.
Find
Could you
out a
imagine
little
that?
bit more. I really
He
hope
had made an appearance in one of my lives. The back of him. I happened to
back of
walk
him?
outside during one of my lives, and he was walking down the street with his dogs. I was like, "Do you see him? Do you see him?" It's like literally the back of him.
I love that it's all based around a real situation and scenario.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because
Crazy.
well, so we started going live. Okay, with this past week, people are telling me what I'm supposed to do. I'm trying to figure out so I don't screw everything up, because I am a super class screw everything up type of guy. But we had a lot of people telling me, like, you need to go live every night. And we had like 17,000 people in our live, and I don't realize how people do that. Like, the messages and the comments, and like, I'm trying to figure out what's going on, and then there's people like that know things about me and my life. They're like making fun of the fact that my dog died a few months ago, and it really hurt.
Oh
like,
my God.
dude, like,
That's
I'm like,
terrible.
I know,
People
and then
are ruthless.
I know, and like, I'm like torn up about it. You know, like, I loved that dog so much, and people are like in there just like attacking me over it, like.
Aw.
And then the other thing is, people are now finding out my phone number, and they're finding out like where I live, and I'm like,
It's rough.
what have
It
we
is
done?
rough.
What have we done?
I've had people tell me where I live just from the backgrounds in my videos and tell me
Mhm.
what neighborhood I'm in, what I live behind. I mean, it's a little creepy. So, I mean, thankfully they were cool people that don't seem like too threatening, but I worry. But I have like the most amazing followers. Like, I don't have a whole lot of drama or negativity on there, so I'm like really lucky. But it's still only 75,000, so I'm sure like trouble could come from that.
Yeah, triple that. Yeah, once you like start doubling and tripling those numbers up, now you double and triple the danger out there.
Yes. And some people are so mean. Like, they told me I look like Rodney Dangerfield, or I act like him, or I'm his daughter. Like, quite a few comments. So I owned it, and I did the whole teleport into the celebrity that you look like. I put him up. I don't care. I'm gonna own it now.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
he's
did.
my dad, you know.
I did the what's his name? Oh God. What is the celebrity that you look like? And I did Danny DeVito.
I'm not kidding you, man. Look at
Oh, no way! No way! Get the fuck out of here!
Is that great?
Dude, this is the greatest moment on Shot 30 podcast history. No way! That is
My
fucking
daughter has
crazy.
a crush on Danny DeVito. I swear. She talks about him all the time. And I told her she could get something. Her and my son order something. This is what she ordered, Danny DeVito. So I said, I'm going to come in your room in case he starts acting up. And I was like, Danny DeVito's sitting behind me. Like, are you kidding me? And
That
then he
is
said Danny DeVito.
that first of all is the craziest thing ever. My wife has this Nicolas Cage thing, and so we have Nicolas Cage as our shower curtain. We have 4 pillows on our bed that are Nicolas Cage. We have like those like prayer candles that are Nicolas Cage. Like,
Stop it.
yeah, people come to our house just to take pictures with the Nicolas Cage in the bathroom. Like, you wouldn't
God.
like you wouldn't believe the amount of like got my buddies that I know that are like holding their dick with a picture of with Nick
Oh my
Cage in
God,
the
that's
background.
great.
That is so funny.
That's amazing.
I cannot believe you just pulled up a Danny DeVito pillow.
Say,
But
it was like perfect timing.
the one that we get though, for real, that is like Matt, like people keep calling me Chumley, and I fucking hate it.
I don't even know who that is.
But Chumley was a guy from Pawn Stars, Pawn Shop.
Okay.
You would know him if you saw him, but yeah, people have really aggressively. Like we got about 2 years ago, we got shared on Barstool Sports. It's this. Do you know what Barstool is?
No.
Barstool
I
is
don't
like
get out much. This is my life. Like, I have been practicing for the pandemic for many years. I don't go out.
Hey, that's okay, dude. I think that okay. I don't want to say it like that. I almost said it. I was gonna say I think the pandemic's a great thing. For the pandemic for me, I can watch live sports and it's like I'm the only person at the game because you hear the crack of the bat. I can watch movies that are in the movie theater from my bed and have drinks and popcorn for $1.
You have to find the positives in things right now. That's what it's about.
Yeah, and like we had to spend so much time. My wife works at a prison, and we had to spend so much time at home, and so we just had a blast with it. Like, I'm so sorry for anybody that was affected by anything to do with COVID, but for me, I was having a blast.
It's absolutely. Actually, my brother was taken out by COVID in December.
I'm sorry. I'm super
and
sorry.
It's a little bit unreal. Like I mean, you have to accept it. It is what it is. We're all heartbroken, but it's a little bit unreal to think like something like this could happen at this point in our lives, at this point in the world. That something this huge could be just knocking people out like this. It's crazy.
Did he have underlying issues, or did it just...
He did. He did have underlying issues, but it was quick. He got sick with a respiratory, went to the hospital. He caught it in the hospital.
Yeah.
And within 2 weeks, he was gone.
We were, because like there's a lot of things, we were super like scared with a lot of things because my dad has cancer, my wife's dad has cancer, you know, and there was just so many issues going on. That's why we wanted our kids to be home. Like even when they gave us the option, my wife works at a prison and it was the hottest spot of COVID. People like, you know, even though it sounds like silly, people in the prison were like puking blood and stuff. Like it was, it sounds
scary.
like a horror story, but this past year for a lot of people has been a horror story. People have lost their jobs and their livelihoods. And then, you know, there's people like you who have done things with like TikTok and been able to do something different that creates, you know, maybe something positive moving forward, not just for yourself, but for other people as well.
That's like the biggest thing. That's the reason why I'm going to keep doing it, is because I'm constantly getting messages, comments on my thing about how much it's helping other people. Like, you don't know how bad I needed this week, or you don't know how much I look forward to seeing you. Make me laugh all the time. It really helps me get through this. You know what I mean? Like, that means a lot. Like, and there's so many people. I try to respond to everybody, but I read everything, and it really does mean a lot to me, because then it's like, I mean, I do it because I make my own self laugh, but knowing that I'm helping other people too, it's really a definite bonus.
Sorry.
Did you spill?
I did not spill that time. But that is like a very fun thing. And even though, like, I understand that feeling, exactly what you're saying. Like, man, I really don't want to post today, but other people actually really enjoy this. And that's the same thing with the podcast too. Like, we desperately want this podcast to blow up and like to be something. This is my dream job. I want to be on the radio. I want to do the podcast for a living. And if it happens, it happens. But if not, the amount of people that we've had say, this is my favorite podcast and all these crazy things and stuff like that, that has been incredible for us. Like, it's such a boost for my morale and such a boost for us. You know, my kids go out and, oh, your dad's the podcast guy, or, you know, stuff like that. I mean, like, the weirdest thing that we ever had happen was a 7-year-old recognized me from my TikTok, which
Wow. With the third leg?
Yeah. Like,
No.
my TikTok right now is not something that I really want. I mean, it's not the worst thing to be recognized for, but.
Well, I mean, it's a little inappropriate for 7-year-olds, but I understand it.
He's like, "You're the guy from TikTok." I was like, "No, that ain't me." He goes, "Yeah, you were dancing outside on the sidewalk." I was like, "Oh shit, it was me."
That's hysterical. I can't. My daughter's 12 and she hates it when her friends call her and be like, "I saw your mom on my For You page." And my daughter's like, "Throw your phone away. Just stop." I'm like, "You made me get TikTok. Like, it's your fault."
So do you, like, everything that you do on your page, do you come up, like, are those all your own ideas?
The pickup lines are not all my own. A lot of them are. Many of them are, like, I used to waitress and work in a gym, and so you hear a lot of them. So a lot of them are. Some of them, people send me them constantly. They'll send me links to them.
Incredible.
They'll send me them in my messages. I'll use them. I go live and I'll have them give me them in the live, and I'll just shoot one right there live. Like, so it depends. Some of them, like, you can Google a ton of them, but mainly, like, I have to change them because some of them are so dumb.
Mm-hmm.
But then sometimes I could just be sitting there and just start cracking up because I think of one in my head, and I'm like, "Oh my God, that's great. Let me write that down."
I love that. I think it's awesome. I like that is that, and I can tell you, there's been a lot of pages I have. Like all of us have mindlessly been on TikTok just scrolling and sucking our mind into this wormhole that is an app. I have no idea how and why we do this, but like, you have such an original page. And, we have another girl, her name is Elizabeth Wykert. She's always wearing like this gold, like, unitard thing, and like, she's always dancing on the freeway.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
she's gonna be on the podcast next week, and
she's amazing,
and she's so great, and she's a stand-up comedian. I do stand-up comedy, and so like, and she has a page too that you just see and like, this is different than anybody else. It's not like I'm watching like not like the shares and people copying like what happens on that.
It's repetitive when they start getting on the trends and using the same sounds. It gets repetitive, and the original content, like, she has original content. I love that. She has a good vibe. Yeah,
and then we have just for the listeners out there, we have Cleats and Stilettos. She is a professional football player, and she a beautiful gal. Louise Cook is her name. She's going to be on the podcast as well soon, and she has such an original page. Like, women's football, like, these girls are out there trying to make this to be like normalized, like women's football.
Right, exactly.
And we had a guest, her name was Caitlin Miller. She is in the Navy, and she just joined this women's league. She made the team, and she was absolutely incredible. I've known her since high school, and she's the episode before you. So, like, yeah.
I'm going to watch it.
Dude, she's exciting. Incredible. Dude, she said the craziest thing to me I'd ever heard. She was like, when she was on the ship for 5 years, she goes, "Yeah, everybody started putting their wedding rings on back after like 3 years on the ship. When we were about to dock, everybody started sliding them rings back on."
Oh my God. Can you imagine?
I got nothing.
There's not, you know what? I started the online dating about like 2 weeks ago. It was kind of like a thing in my life. We were talking about how I'm like chasing this neighbor that doesn't know I exist, among other people that don't know I exist. So they were like, "You got to get the app." So I went on the app. My girlfriend was like, "You can try it." I tried it out. It is hell. It is hell. There are married people on there that their wife doesn't know. Then there's married people on there that their wife does know and wants to play too.
Damn, dude.
There
a swinger
like
party.
fake people, fake Marines. And then there's somebody asked me for $50 for their lunch the next day. And he's like, "I'm so glad I found you and we can grow old together." And literally like 2 seconds later, he's like, "Do you think you have $50 for lunch tomorrow?" Like, "What are you eating? Lobster?" "No, I don't have $50.
Wow.
It is really, I've seen people that I grew up with on there who could be married. I mean, just saying, you never know. it's this is not the time to be single during a pandemic when you have to resort to online dating because it is slim pickings. There's a lot of shady people out there.
Well, you've also
Terrible.
killed it. You've lost a lot of weight. You're TikTok famous. You're a celebrity. And, I mean, you're beautiful, and people are trying to slide in. You know, they
This
want a
is
piece of that AngieepangieeBobangiee.
seriously. And I love it. I love it with the followers on TikTok. They're always so sweet and they're respectful, and I love that. So I get proposed to quite often and asked out on dates, and they want to drive far to meet me, and I think it's great. But it's hard for me to know how genuine someone is by a little tiny
Absolutely.
circle photo. So then I do like Snapchat. Do you have that?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I've got a lot of stories about the Snapchat.
So I didn't understand it. One of my followers told me to get it because he wanted to talk to me on there. Great guy, great guy. He's married. Um, and so he was teaching me it and I still didn't understand it. So apparently, like I put up a dirty meme on Instagram once a week. So I was in my shower taking the pictures. Well, I got big hands. So I went to hit the save button and I hit the story button. Suddenly I'm getting all these people messaging me with my own pictures. It had happened a week before that. They all want to send these dick pics. Like that's their way to say hello.
Mm-hmm.
This is what they're doing. Like this is their opening. And it's men that should not be doing this. Like dirty fingernails. I'm not kidding you.
Wait, you're
Dirty
worried about the
fingernails.
dirty fingernails first?
That's what I saw. Dirty fingernails. A hole in your boxers. All right, so if you can't afford new boxers, you can't talk to me. You have to get a nail brush like this. If you're unkept, like we're in a pandemic, there's a shortage of like toilet paper and Lysol, not razors. Like get it together. We have to like you're taking a photo shoot. You can't do this. Like make sure it looks right. And the worst, the absolute worst this week was a rash. A whole ass rash. So I screenshotted it. He said, "Why did you do that?" I said, "I wanted to zoom in on that rash." Like, why would you get some ointment? Why would you send a picture like that? Good morning, like you want me to vomit? This isn't how you get a date.
Angie, just
It's not
meeting you,
good.
I truly do think, uh, if you've never tried stand-up comedy, you would kill it.
You think?
You would
I
kill
don't
it.
know. I get so nervous. Like people have been telling me that for years. And in my 20s, I was going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually signed up for a place in Philly. And I never went. I got so nervous that I never. And now I'm old, and I'm like, well, can I do this at this age? Like, I don't know. I don't know.
I have a lot of friends out there that are in the stand-up comedy scene, and they could just help you get on stage, be comfortable. Like, I have a lot of friends over, like, right in your area that could help you, like,
Really,
just to get up on stage. And I'm
hook me
actually gonna
up.
I'm gonna message you and them and get you guys hooked up, because Angie, you would
That'd
kill
be
it.
great.
You would be really,
You
really
think?
good. I think that
Oh,
you have a presence and a style about what you do and how you talk that would do really, really well. I truly believe
that's
that.
great. Thank you.
And
It'll be
also,
fun.
I know this guy. He is a barbecue expert. It is the Bone Collector in Viola, Illinois. Go check out the Bone Collector. It is Ken Versluis. He is a world champion barbecue expert. Go check out the Bone Collector in Viola. And yeah, he has on his Facebook. You have to put in your orders early because he sells out very fast. The Bone
Barbecue's
Collector.
the best.
Oh, this guy's incredible. He came on the
I love
podcast
barbecue.
and he literally just covered this table in barbecue, and I didn't talk the
Yeah,
whole podcast. Like, I just sat here eating. It was quite
that's
embarrassing.
great.
But
That's a good compliment for him, though. He's like, okay, just eat up.
you should, yeah, like the stand up thing. Like, I can't believe, honestly, just even watching the way you do your videos and stuff, I can't believe that you don't do stand up. You would kill it.
I've heard that a lot lately. I heard it when I was younger too, but I never really thought like too much into it, except for when I was in my 20s, because people always say that you're funny, like, oh my God, you're so funny. But I'm always like, it's because I'm fat and fat people are funny. That's just what people think. And I genuinely like don't try to be funny. I'm telling you a story, like I'm telling you the real stuff, and you're
Mm-hmm.
laughing at me. I mean, I guess it's funny, but I'm not doing it intentionally. So I feel like if I had to do stand up, I would have to like prepare,
Mm-hmm. It
and then
will.
I think I would mess up because I can't remember shit.
But honestly, for you too, like I go up on when I go up and do stand up, it does not matter. Like I will talk about. I have had the weirdest things happen to me in my life. I'll go up and say whatever. I don't care. I'm like, yo, you guys want to hear about this strap on that I took on the other day? Like, I don't care, dude.
Stop it.
I do.
I love
like,
it.
I do. I had like at one point, like I told a real story. Like this one guy walked into a sex store that's right down the road, and he thought that I worked there, and I was like, yeah, dude, what I do if I work there is stare at the dildos with my hands on my hips like, let me just figure out what my wife wants from here today, this 20-inch piece of salami, you know, like, but this guy, and he was like, well, can you let me into the back room, you know, the jerk-off room, and stuff like that, so I just go up there, and I'm just telling a story that actually happened, but, like, you're just standing up there, and you could do it any day, like, honestly, some of the things that you've told me already, like you could just go up on stage right now and kill it.
Really?
Yeah, even like the dick pic thing, dude. We get okay. I would say, from the podcast, not the TikTok, not the Instagram, not anything else, just the podcast alone. We've probably got like 100 dick pics, like. And I'm cool. Like, send me the dick pics. I'll look. I'll show my wife. Like, we're cool. Like, we'll judge. But like,
Right.
like,
That is what it is. You're being judged. Like when you send these, unless I ask for it, which I would never do. Like, I don't want to see that. I want to see you clocking in at your job. If you want to turn on, send me a picture of your back and your shoulders. Like, you know, something like I don't want to see that. Do you know what I mean? Like that's like second date shit. No, maybe like down the road a little. But
yeah, maybe after the first date, like
maybe
not
after.
right before the second date.
Like that can't be the opener. I don't even know if you have all your teeth, and apparently you don't have great hygiene, so we're not off to a great start.
Yeah, you need some cortisone 10, dude, with the rash.
Something, or like a ring light, blur it out, a filter maybe. I don't know. It's awful.
The only one that we got with that was a little too much for me was like. This one guy, he was like, I'm not going to send dick. I'm just going to send straight up asshole pics. And like, like, I don't want that from anybody. Like, don't just send me asshole pics. Like,
I mean, I would have looked.
I did look, but it was not like your best looking asshole that you, like, if that's going to be.
I'm telling you, is that the worst? Like, I'm not kidding. On Snapchat, you know how they have the little circles? So, like, late night, I was on there, and I saw an asshole in one of the circles. So I'm like, what's this? And I clicked it, and it was this girl going to town with these two guys. And I'm like, what's she doing? And then an ad pops up, like her little OnlyFans thing popped up. And I was like, what? So I hit it again to watch it, and it was a totally different video.
So this is when you
her
posted
asshole was
your
in
salsa?
every single video, and I'm like, why is she? That is not your best feature. Like, turn the whole view around.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I guess they don't watch them before they post them. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's
terrible.
Just like, dude. I have no, like, I can think a guy's hot, I can think a woman's hot, I can think whatever's hot. I don't care. But. Like, at least say hello before you send me a picture of your hairy, dirty asshole. Like,
right? Like, how you doing? Good morning. Did you have your coffee? Here's my dick. Here's my asshole. Like, at least, like, have an opener. Don't just, like, I wake up in the morning, I have all these snaps. I'm like, dick. Like, come on. And Snapchat erases everything, so I don't even know if we had a conversation now.
Damn.
You know what I mean? Like, are you just randomly putting these up, or did we talk before? Like, I don't even know now.
Yeah, dude.
But now I just, like...
we actually wanted to do one. There was this is so stupid, but I wanted to do a segment, and I was just gonna be like, hey, if you guys want to send a dick pic, send it, and I'm not gonna show it on the podcast, but I'm gonna judge each one. Like, you're gonna see my reaction. I'm gonna tell you what I think.
I think that you should do that. That would be great.
Yeah,
that would be great.
My wife, we had it has been super silly. Like, I don't care. You can send me whatever. Like, I know someone is going to send me a picture of their asshole after this episode's over, but.
Probably. It won't be me, though. I promise. Not this time.
If it was, it would be what I made the thumbnail of the YouTube video. It would just be your butthole.
I'm serious. That's what I saw. And I guess like I'm a little bit of a dirtball. You know what? I have new friends and they're teaching me a lot. I actually met them on TikTok and I didn't feel like I could really relate to my followers like that deeply, but they are really a great bunch of people. I like love them to death, but they are teaching me stuff. I thought I was like a hussy back in the day, but apparently I'm really inexperienced. They're teaching me like names of stuff and things I had no clue what they meant. And I'm like, what? Like, so now I'm looking stuff up constantly. Like, I have to learn. Like, I'm too old to not know this stuff. My followers are telling me to get Tracy's dog. And I'm like, I didn't even know what that was. A couple of them, different times. And I'm like, I don't know what's Tracy's dog. I'm not saying I ordered it, but I might put a review up.
Oh, shit.
It's a little crazy, the things that you learn. TikTok is very enlightening. Definitely.
What is the weirdest offer that you've had for money on TikTok? Because I'm dying. Like, this is the first time I'll ever ask this and maybe the possible last, but I just gotta know.
There has not been nothing, honestly, that was any kind of money except for the guy from Tinder asked me for $50, but nothing with TikTok. I have amazing supporters on there. Amazing.
I do want to talk about that more. Like, I definitely want to talk about it because it is a weird. Okay, yeah, I'm just going to pass my weirdest thing, and I'll save it for a later date. Like, if you guys like that, leave a comment down below, ask what it was, and I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to say, wait for another episode, or I'll probably say
that's so
it at the
mean.
end. Okay, no, we've had guys, like, will you dock me for $1,000? And docking is where you take, like, somebody's uncircumcised, and you, like, take that skin and you pull it over the top. Like, I mean, and I'm like,
what?
I'm like $1,000, baby. Get over here.
What?
Like,
wait, why are these people not offering me money like this?
I mean, you can't.
I'll dock somebody.
You can't dock somebody. You ain't got a
Why?
dick.
Oh.
Unless
Can
you
I do it with theirs?
I mean, okay, so the way it looks, okay, now watch my hands.
I don't know if I want to know this.
Sorry if you're just listening on one of the apps, but I appreciate you guys so much. Now, this is dick. Now, this is normal dick. Now, this is I didn't mean normal. I mean just like another version of normal. Now, this is uncircumcised. Now, there's all this skin here. You take this skin and you put it over mine, and then we're bonded like a finger trap.
Two guys.
Yeah, dude. Like a Chinese. We're just straight up Chinese finger trapping that shit.
Well, wait, can you get like a strap on that's not circumcised?
I've never heard of
that.
You may be starting something new here.
I mean, if not, we could event it. I mean, we could share the profits. I'm about it.
If we go 50-50 on this, we may make millions of dollars. Like,
I'm
even
serious.
just people buying it as a joke. Like, dude,
if
you
this
might
is a thing.
You might have an incredible idea.
Seriously, if this is a thing, I'm in it.
Okay, so we're going to dive into the followers on TikTok, but first I want to say, I don't know what's going on. I guess I'm starting a Twitch and gaming channel with 3 other guys. It is called Slow Bros. We're going to put the link down below, but we have a lot of fun. It's just 4 guys just being weird and playing video games, and a lot of you guys asked for it, so we're doing it. It is Slow Bros on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, and all those things. And thank you guys so much for caring and all the support. But I do want to talk about the followers because it is incredible. The fact that I've been uploading and I'm like, okay, people are going to start like fading away. But it's not that. now people are like defending me and they're fighting for my life and I have no idea about it. I'm just going to the messages and people are like hardcore, so supportive, and it's an awesome thing.
Amazing. It's like a little community when you find the right people. It's amazing. I mean, there's some like douchey people here and there. I literally, if their comment isn't too disgusting, I'll leave it because I think they're funny. Like if I laugh at it, I'll leave it. But if I'm like offended by it, I'll just block you because I don't want to bring that negativity in because it's not what I'm about. But most of the people on there, they're there to have a good time. They want to laugh. They want to get out of their own head. So they're not there to cause. There are some people like trolls. They're there to cause problems, but the majority are not.
Yeah, like we had one guy. He just kept posting, a gay slur, the F bomb, and then he kept saying the N bomb on my page, and I'm like, you gotta go. Like, I have no space for this. Like, you're not gonna be, like, I'm not gonna be attached to your comment ever. I don't want to be.
Right.
Even though, like, I want people to see that you are a fucking douche. But, like, other than that, I don't know if we've ever deleted anything other than that one guy. Just like, you guys are gonna fight and say whatever you want on here, and honestly it's been so much fun. It's been fun. The lives have been fun. TikTok is cool, man. It's like,
it is. It's so fun.
I thought, like, just like you, I thought it was this kids app, and it's actually there's two sides of TikTok. Like, it's a very creative way for people to be funny or fun or sexy or do, show off their talents or their singing. Like, we had a guy, his name is Kerry Cortez. He was applied for The Voice, and he was like one of the contestants, like pre-running contestants of The Voice. He is one of the greatest singers. He's been on the radio. He has a bunch of songs, and I said, man, just get on TikTok and show people. And he did it. His first video was at 50,000 views. And he's like, this is kind of addictive. I was like, dude, just keep showing people, like, who you are. And, yeah, like, there's a chance you make money from just singing something you've always wanted to do.
It's amazing. It is addicting. It's very addicting once you start doing it. But you can get lost in it, even if you're not making the TikToks and you're just watching them. You can start it like after dinner, and all of a sudden it's 3 a.m. and you're like, shit.
Oh, dude, it's the worst. It is absolutely the worst.
It's amazing.
That suckhole of, like, I can't believe I just watched this guy eat fries for the past 5 hours. Like, why am I doing this?
See, the girl, she eats noodles all the time, and I'm like, why am I watching this?
Are you talking to the little Asian woman?
But I'll still watch. Some stuff is gross. No, she's not Asian.
Oh,
she is Italian, I think.
I watched that little Asian woman just put all the noodles in her mouth, dude. She just shovels a full plate in, and it is wild.
The worst are the feet. Did you see the feet with the big scraper thing, and they're taking off dead skin?
Oh, no.
Why are these in my For You page all the time? And I literally have to sit there and watch it, vomit a little, and continue.
Hey, player, I think that's on you. Like, I have never had one of those. That's on what you like.
I don't know. I get random stuff. I don't know. For a while, like, I was getting dances and stuff, which were cool. I can't dance. So it was kind of like, I didn't really want to watch it. And then I got on lesbian TikTok, and all these hot lesbians are on my, and I'm like questioning my sexuality. Like, do I really want this neighbor? I mean, how did I get on here? And I'm like, and then it changes. Then it was all hot guys in gray sweatpants. And I'm like, okay, we're getting there. We're moving. It's just, you can get into so many different areas on TikTok. It's amazing. It's like a great platform for everybody.
That's so awesome, because without those gray sweatpants, I probably wouldn't have you here today. But I'm not.
That's what started it.
I lost the hot guy thing. I at least have the gray sweatpants thing. And I have the greatest pair of gray sweatpants in America right now.
with the third leg.
Dude, it is so funny. Okay, so there's like two other things, but first I want to say, hey, Shot 30 Podcast is sponsored by Handmade by Haley. Handmade by Haley is coming out of Kewanee, Illinois. She has front door pickup. She has all these incredible signs. She can make anything. She makes the stovetop covers, but she makes stuff just like this. I mean, it is absolutely incredible. It's all based out of her house. She was a guest on the podcast, actually twice, where she talks about her life with epilepsy and a million other things. So if you ever have or want to know more about epilepsy, go check out Haley Paxton's episode on Shot 30 Podcast and go check out Handmade by Haley. It is absolutely incredible. She works really, really hard and she's incredibly talented. Go check out Handmade by Haley on Facebook today, and I love her. She's absolutely one of the greatest people I've ever met, and her boyfriend is also, I mean, like, maybe top 25% of the greatest people I've ever met. And I'm just saying that as a joke. I love him too. But, okay, so now, TikTok aside, everything aside, you do have a son with autism, and how has that, like, I mean, I know it's an extremely difficult type of thing to deal with. What has that been like for you?
I didn't really understand it in the beginning. So I have a 12-year-old daughter. She's neurotypical, so easy sailing. And then I had my son like pretty late in life. And from birth, he would just like scream in my face. And I kept taking the doctors, like, he's broken, something's wrong, they can't fix him. And they kept saying, like, he's fine, he's gassy, he's this, he's that. And like, you just know when something's not right. You couldn't soothe him. So when he was like 2, they said they wanted to get him tested. And I was like mad. Like, I was crying. I was like, you saying something's wrong with my son. Now I've been asking you for an answer, and now that they're agreeing with me, I was like a little insulted because I'm like, he's brilliant. Like, he's brilliant. He just cries. He's like uncomfortable. Like, I felt like he was uncomfortable. So when he got his diagnosis, I have to say it's like the biggest blessing in the world to know what we were dealing with, because then I could research it and I could understand it, and I could stop trying to like get him to conform to this world that we have, and then just enter into his world and learn to do things his way. And it really has made a huge difference. So these days they don't really diagnose Asperger's anymore. They kind of umbrella everyone under the ASD umbrella. So he has Asperger's. He's brilliant. He has a lot of social skills that he's not good with. And a lot of, like, he needs scheduling. He doesn't do well with change. He has no like filter. He doesn't understand facial expressions. He has meltdowns. So it has been like a wild ride, but it has honestly been like so informative, and it's just amazing. Like, he thrives. He's doing amazing. The pandemic's been hard, being stuck in the house, but he understands it because he's so smart. He understands why we can't go out. He understands that like eventually we'll be able to go out. The mask, he understands that, and he doesn't keep it on long, but he is wearing one. It's a tough time. It's a tough time, but he's adjusting like pretty well. Both of my kids are doing pretty good with it, but I think like the older one, they can't socialize with him. He can't see his friends except on the meetings. So it's a little tough, but the autism is definitely something that, I like to work with. Like, we have autism channels as well. Like, that's what I did prior to TikTok, was deal with the autism. Not so much for the kids, but the parents. Like, as a parent, you feel so lost and so like you can't fix it. It's a terrible place to be in, to have a child have something that you can't fix. And it's okay to not fix it, but you have to know that like you're not alone and you can deal with it.
And it's so important to know what's going on. We had a guest on the podcast. His name was Jason Lindstrom, and he has this thing that he does. It's called Jammin' for Justin. His son found out his son had type 1 diabetes. He lost his son, and it was a terrible, terrible thing. Well, now he found out his 12-year-old daughter has type 1 diabetes now as well. And they are just trying to raise money to like bring awareness, try to fix this, like figure out how we can fix this. And it's like when he talked to me, like honestly, I was probably the most scared I'd ever been in my life, just listening, like horrified, like thinking about what he was saying, like. But at the end of the day, like you're saying to me, like he said to me, it isn't, like it is what it is, but like we just want to understand more. It's, like there's nothing we can do to, like, we can't fix what is,
right,
like broken or different. But all we can do is try to be better. And I think that is incredible. I think it's incredible of you. I think it's incredible of all the parents who have to deal with something. Like, I can only fathom, like I had a rough childhood, but like I never, like, man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, like, I just know that feeling of, like, you just want everything to be better. You want everything to be in the idea of normal, like, and yeah, and it just sucks. It just sucks that awesome people have to go through something that you never want to have to go through.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot for these kids to deal with, but it's also a lot for the parents. Do you know what I mean? Like, but it's such a good way once you have your diagnosis to really understand it. And it's really not so bad as they make it seem. Like, there's ways to communicate and there's ways to deal with things. Like, I didn't realize that I was actually hurting him before I had the diagnosis by putting him in timeout or by, like saying in the stories he's having meltdowns. I thought he was just a brat throwing stuff I didn't know. And I'd be like, okay, you're not getting anything now. I didn't know that he was suffering, that he was like so overwhelmed by what was going on there, that now I can deal with it. And like, I won't take him to certain places, or I won't, I prepare for it. And I didn't know, like, instead of timeouts, now I have to do time ins, or I have to take a toy, and like seriously sit and explain to him why we can't do certain things. It's different, but it's so much more helpful
to know
for him to progress. Like, I didn't realize, once you realize what's going on with any of the special needs kids, no matter what it is, once you can understand it, you kind of feel like you have a little bit more power to help them.
Yeah, that's the thing that like really hits home for me is the, something's going on, but like the adults don't know, or like they don't understand. Like, when I was a kid, I was in 7th, 8th grade, I was molested by a millionaire. Like, and like it hits home for me because like all I wanted to do was like have people understand, and like it's like the thing of nobody knows, like, and people were wondering, like, what's going on with Shane? Why is he being so weird? Why is he, like, why is this different? And, like, it's like, all I want to do is just let you understand, and, like, people, like, people don't know what's going on because the answers aren't just written on my forehead, like, that is something that hits home so hard for me. Like,
I would imagine that's difficult. I just want to plug you in because
you can plug it in any hole you want.
Difficult. It's so difficult to deal with something like that. And as a young kid, you feel like people aren't going to understand, or they're going to judge you, or that it's your fault. And that's a terrible, terrible thing to hold on to. I think as you get older, you kind of, I can't say that you can accept it, but you can like see that it's not you and that people aren't going to judge you for it. And it gets a little bit easier to be open about it.
And it's so wild. Like, when we started this podcast, it was all just supposed to be silly and fun. And then we've had so many incredible guests and episodes that we've done. Like, we just had, his name is Ben Simpson. He has Down syndrome. He is a spokesman for Be Humble Gym, If you haven't heard of it,
Amazing.
it's absolutely incredible. Be Humble Gym is the very first ever special needs only powerlifting gym, and they have 35 athletes now. It's an incredible thing. And he's also a spokesman for the Special Olympics. And like Ben, dude, this guy busts my balls more than anybody I've ever met, and I love him. And he talks about his Down syndrome like it's a blessing for him. And like here, like I want to be sad, and he's like, no, don't, like, listen, you want me to be sad that you're an ugly guy? Like, that's the way he comes at me.
I love him.
And like, it was one of the coolest things. So this page turned into a thing. Yeah, I love to be silly. I love to talk about all the asshole pictures we get. But like, there is people struggling through things, and I love the fact that for some reason this stupid podcast does something really, really good inside of people as well, and helps people not feel alone, not feel afraid about things.
I think it makes it more relatable, because anybody can like just goof off and be funny, but when they find topics like this is great and it's entertaining, but when you find topics that you can relate to, it pulls in a whole new audience. So I think you should keep doing it that way.
Angie, you are absolutely incredible. I do have to say this. Hey, if you're looking for a new car, like, let's go from all this, what we just talked about, to a new car. Go to Peel Automotive in Princeton, Illinois, and ask for Matt Manning, and he's going to give you $500 additional to your trade-in. That is Matt Manning, Peel Automotive in Princeton, Illinois. Go check him out on Facebook. You can go to their shop. Go to anything. Matt Manning, Princeton, Illinois. Angie, I think you are absolutely an incredible person, and I enjoyed this so much. I honestly would love to have you back on the podcast. Like, you are so much fun, and I love your page. I love what you're doing. I love how real of a person you are, and I want you to do stand-up so bad.
Well, I love that you love me, so I would definitely come back. And I really think, I don't know, I think I might want to do it.
I truly believe if you step on stage, you will never not want to go back.
Really?
Like, you will be stuck because you're funny, you're real. And the thing about stand-up comedy, in my perspective, which means nothing to anybody, if anybody cares, like, my perspective of stand-up comedy is, if you've been through shit, if your life has ever really fucking sucked, if you've been through really hard times, that makes you good at stand-up. Like, that, people being able to relate to shitty stuff makes you great at stand-up. And I am going to send you a couple of my friends, and they are very, very, very big stand-up comedians in New York, Pennsylvania. Like, I want to send them to you, and I really think you should go on stage. I think you'd be great.
I appreciate it. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Angie, can you please tell everybody where to find all of your stuff at?
So I am on all social media at AngieePangieeBobangiee. So like Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Now they're not all great. TikTok is where I put most of my content. Instagram, I put up memes. So, and then Facebook just when I feel like it. But I am going to be transferring my videos to YouTube so that they're all in one place. It's like in the process. And
she also loves, like, I've seen a lot of your memes. She puts that cleavage out there. So if you like cleavage, she's putting it out there. Angie, you are absolutely beautiful and perfect. And I thank you so much for this. This was so much fun. This is Shot 30 Podcast. I am Shane Newbert. Shot 30 Podcast is available on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher. Please subscribe, leave a review, and I mean, yeah, check out the TikTok. Check out Angie's TikTok. It will be attached in the links below. Check out all of her pages. It's all going to be attached in the links below. This is Shot 30 Podcast. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, and thank you for listening.